What up, people of the world? You already know what it is. It's your man KD, KD Artaru, for those of you guys who don't know. And you know what it is. It's the Artmosphere, brought to you by the Pond Collective. And as usual, you know what it's like, man. We're all about life. We're all about the universe. We're all about creativity. We're all about youth. We're all about everything good, man. Vibes and vibes and vibes, and of course, art stuff. So, and as you know, I'm not always here alone. I'm always coming through with someone special. And today I have someone who is, okay, I don't really know much about her, but the few minutes we've had a quick conversation, like we vibe so good. I mean, it's kind of like, where you been? You feel me? And I'm talking about no other person than AKG. How you doing?
Hi.
First off, before we go into the whole introduction and whatnot, I mean, it's really fascinating. I mean, go reading about you, your work. I've known your work for a while now, and it's all fascinating the way you think. I mean, it's your work speaks to me in a different way, and you do other stuff, of course, but we're gonna get into all of that, and it blows my mind. But before we go into all of that, just tell us a little bit about yourself. What is AKG?
AKG is my name. My identity, my art identity, I would say my full name is Abisola Kuburat Gbadamosi, but I'll leave the rest of the names for the sake of everyone's sanity.
Let me get it straight. Abisola, Kuburat,
Gbadamosi. Should I give you the whole thing?
No,
So-
oh my God. The way you said it, I feel it's going to be really long and I'm just going to forget the initials.
Yeah, but you can call me Abby. It's fine.
Great.
I call myself a narrative expressionist because I like to tell stories, personal stories through my art, and I hope it inspires people and it helps me connect to other people. So I feel less lonely. Most artists are lonely, so it's okay.
I think it's a thing. I won't really call it loneliness. It's more like we enjoy solitude because it puts us in that state of mind where we're creative and whatever it is we have in our head, we find a way to like put it out there for people to like understand and connect with us the way we want them to connect, or in a way that we didn't even see coming, because you can make an art piece and you have a definition in your head or a description of it, and somebody else will see it and they see something totally different. And when they explain what they see, you start seeing it their own way, and you're like,
let me not get too excited.
exactly. So you like seeing it their own way, and it just puts you in that state of mind, and it gets you more and more creative because you kind of like, oh, I made this piece. I never thought it was gonna be interpreted this way, but now that you've mentioned this, opening my mind to some new ideologies, some new mindsets, or something like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. You're definitely right. I feel like since I met you, even though it's only been for a little time,
Yeah.
you say what I need to say properly. So yeah, perfect definition.
I mean, thank you. It's only $500 an
I
hour,
mean,
but yeah,
it's supposed to be that way, so it's great.
no, that's cool. And I know something about your work. I mean, it's also on your website, and your work has to do with a lot of spirituality. Like, how do you express that? How do you share that with people? Because people have different ideologies about when it comes to spirituality and all of that. So like, how do you like try to pass that in your work? How do you put that out there for people to feel?
Honestly, I would say I only started understanding that was what I was supposed to do about a year ago.
Yeah.
I've been painting as a way to escape my own personal reality.
Pretty much.
And it was a situation where I had a crazy spiritual awakening a couple times actually, and I understood that my art was speaking back at me, if that makes sense. For me, it was a situation where I've always searched for God's voice, but then I found it through like communication with my artwork. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
So after a while, I realized, looking back, meditation, stuff like that, looking back at my old work, I realized that I was painting about spirituality, about like oneness, but it was for me back then, it was, it didn't make any sense. So I started creating bodies of work that told like a full story rather than just like one piece and even one thing, one piece and even one thing. So I think I started doing that a lot more now in the last, like, I would say year. And I've been putting myself out there and being more vulnerable in the hopes to quote unquote connect and in the hopes to also inspire and help others, you know. So I don't know how I do it. I just knew that it's
I think that's why you're an artist, because I feel you don't really know how, like, you don't really have explanation for some of the things you do. Like, if you get in that zone, that creative moment, and you just start putting stuff out there, like you just start creating, you go crazy on the medium that you're working with, and the end goal is to pass that message that you want to pass. Like you feel it's like a burning sensation inside you. You just want to let it out any means possible. So that's why I tell a lot of young artists that instead of them considering like, is the painting fine, is the art fine, how about you focus more on the message you're trying to pass? Any way it comes out, people will appreciate it because they understand what you're trying to say in it. And that's why I vibe with your work, because that spirituality there, I feel the essence. It's kind of like there's some sort of essence in the piece, and that's a beautiful thing. If you think about it, no, many people don't really understand. You just think it's about you pick up a pencil or a paintbrush and blah blah blah. You just paint something, but when you're making a portrait or you're making a painting of anything, you gotta look at the essence of that stuff. That what will people feel? Will they just see the picture of my face, or would they see something in the way I look, something in my eyes, something in the whole aura, basically?
Honestly, I would say I feel like we've had this conversation a little bit. As me personally, as a human, I unfortunately experience first and then later. You know, my whole spiritual journey has been experience, then later. So it's during that like creative process, that's my learning process. That's me figuring out what the message is, trying to heal myself, doing the research. And then when I produce the work, I produce the work. But funny enough, the intent is never really to show or to, you know, I don't want to monetize it, but put a you know,
put a tag to
put it into the system. It's more for the awakened ones to know that they're not alone, if that makes sense. So now that's why I said I know the purpose of it now. Back then I was just like, we're just doing this to kind of heal, to kind of like, you know, stay in tune
of course.
You know, the reality is that when I was younger, I lost my parents, and that really put me in a very odd mental state. And because as a Nigerian, we also don't know a lot about mental health and the effects of raising children, and basically we don't know a lot. So it's a thing where I had to parent myself, especially in my like young adulthood, to heal those childhood wounds so I can actually enjoy this present reality that I have, because I was so blessed. Like I'm not even exaggerating. I never thought that I would be who I am today. And I always say this because I said it to you earlier. An artist is who I am. A teacher is who I want to be, because I actually want to be a high school teacher. It shocks people all the time. So yeah, I guess at this point, my purpose is to be who I am, and hopefully through my art I get to still be and connect. I just had a recent experience where I felt like I couldn't create, and it was a thing where I have like this whole spine thing going on where I have like really bad pain down this arm and down my leg sometimes, and and you're wondering, and you're talking to yourself and you're talking to God, and you're like, dude, you put me here. What are you doing now? Like, we don't want to be your soldier.
I'm actually getting to that. Like, when you are in this moment, when it seems like you don't really know what you're doing, how do you come out of it? Do you have like a method, like, or a ritual, some sort of stuff that you do to come out of this stuff and get back to being a creative?
I feel like I just developed a ritual like 3 weeks ago. It's crazy.
You know, I figured. That's why I brought you forward.
I would love to thank my friends who are like my sisters, who are like my brothers, because they are the ones that like really get me out of like it's almost like a collective trial. Like it's not a trial, like a collective little tribe. Not everyone is like, we have the family support, you have your friends, you have people who are willing to drag you out of your depressive moment or drag you out of your creative hermit moments. When when you're stuck, you have those friends that check in when you lose yourself a little bit. So I have to always say that God has put specific people in my life right now that I recognize that are part of my creative process. Yeah. So
that's big. That's big. I love the positive energy from all of that. I love the positive energy from all of that. So yeah. Now on to being a creative. Being a creative, and I think you do some other stuff too. You got a brand. You do a lot of stuff. I mean, like if the CV is probably full. So like, just tell us some other stuff you do.
As a creative.
As a creative,
Okay.
maybe full time or part time, other stuff.
Many people don't actually know this, but I study fine art at Unilag, and at first in my mind I was like, maybe I should just go deep talk about. But let me not digress, because I tend to do that in my conversations. But yeah, I'm a student. I study fine art. I have great friends, great teachers. I own a company called the Gift Shop, the AKG. That's because gift giving is one of my love languages. I actually do it to a fault. So, and also I love reading books. So I wanted people to actually I wanted to encourage people to go back to like reading, like, having like a cute little bookmark in there.
So do you kind of like a book club or something?
No, it's like a little, it's like one of the products under my whole gift shop company. So I made it that way because I wanted to do other little gifts. Like I'm currently propagating. Is it propagating? Yeah, my little plants, because I want to start giving people little plants as gifts. So little things like that. And then I started this company because my friend was like, why don't you just make money out of it? I even started, I was about to digress again. I started a company when I was 12 actually, and that's how all this stuff started happening. Because that was actually during the time when I kind of lost my mom. So I had to find some sort of creative outlet. So me and my friend, we started this company called Latakadas. I've done fashion before. I've done this, I've done that. So recently now, so that's the gift shop. I'm a student. I'm also the president of my alumni because I want to build community and give back to my school. I do photography with BIS. I went to BIS on Korea. And what else? I do photography. I do graphics. I teach part-time. I love teaching. I can't even
Yeah, I mean, I think before we came here, before we started this whole thing, you talked a lot about teaching. I saw it on your website too. And how's that been exactly? Like the whole teaching stuff. Like, were you looking for something, or was it just a passion?
It found me, and then for some reason, I had like a weird memory of when I was a kid, and I would like buy a stack of books. I literally write them, like I would be the teacher, I would mark, my teddies would be the students, everything. So I had that little memory in my mind. And then it was recently when I just moved back and I did my internship at BIS, and I was going through a lot back then. A lot of people didn't know, but every time I woke up and I went to school and someone said, "Good morning, Miss Abby," it just hit me up. And then I felt like I could inspire the children and speak to them and relate to them, and seeing my old teachers become my colleagues. The environment felt like home, and that's why I'm still.
I think it explains the whole community that you set up, being the president of the alumni and all that, and that's really beautiful. And also, you are an art director for a public.
Oh yes, Moist Beach Club. Yes. Yeah. So that whole collaboration started about last year, and I've always loved the idea of like the beach, spirituality, community.
I love the
essence at Moist is just, it's just amazing. And then the people that work there with me, they become family. So it's a thing where my artwork it's on display 24/7 there. I had a little solo exhibition in October that they sponsored, which was great. it showed all my works from 2014 all the way to 2022. I named it Ascend just to show the creative process and me.
And the evolution.
Yes. And they supported that. And now they're supporting more of my projects. I can't disclose that. But they're supporting, very, very supportive. They're very into the arts. They are, how would I say this in the best way possible? They are the family I was meant to find. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like, you know how people say God puts people in your life for a certain reason, just so his purpose can, kind of shine.
Yeah.
That was where that was. And it was, I won't lie, it wasn't like all roses 24/7 because I had to grow, I had to learn, and I had to build like a really strong backbone and everything like that. And that's what I love.
I feel that's one of the beauties about being in certain communities or being with certain set of people is the fact that you learn a lot of stuff. I mean, I remember when I first got signed to the gallery that I'm signed to, and I didn't know what I was doing at first. You understand? I was like lost, like why are these people even working with me? Because I just moved from a formal style that I used to do to a new style, trying new medium and all of that. So it was a little bit hard for me, or I thought it was hard, but all I had to do was just free my mind and just be creative. Exactly. And I learned along the way. The more I was making art, the better I became, and I felt this sense of freedom in my work. Like, I feel this sense of accomplishment that the thing that I was afraid of is actually not existing. It was just all in my head. So being part of this community actually gave me that opportunity to expand my horizons and try out different things and not be scared of growing. And I think that's like the beauty of being in communities and something like, because you learn through peer-to-peer learning and all of that. Like you just learn, and the more you talk, the more you talk to people, the more you ask questions, you get the answers to the question, or you get something that will lead you to the answer that you're searching for, and it's quite beautiful. And I've been seeing your works. I went through your website. You've done a lot of exhibition. We're gonna get to that. And I was reading your art statement, reading it, like everything about your work, and it's just really, really, really beautiful. I gotta give you that. Like it's more like you know what you are making, you know what you are doing. You're intentional about everything, and as much as you are letting the arts flow through you, you also know what you are doing, and that's being connected the same way. So you're connected with your art, and that's like also a beautiful thing. And speaking of exhibitions, you actually had done quite a number. Quite a number. How's the experience been so far? I know you've done with Relay Gallery, you've done with Nikkei Art Gallery, so many.
I'm sorry about this. It's because I had a response to the statement that you made before the question, so my mind is still on the response. Now I don't even remember what you said that I was going to respond to, but moving on.
Moving on. If you figure it out, you can always circle back.
We will go back to it. Yeah.
Exhibitions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the save. Exhibitions. I had my first exhibition at Brick Lane Gallery in London in 2016, and I remember that time because I was making a very hard decision to move back to Nigeria, being separated from my brother for 7 years now, blah blah, and I was desperate to understand the message that was given to me during my first spiritual awakening. So I had that experience. Then I realized that I wanted to do art professionally, move back to Nigeria, and then I had this weird goal that I was like, I'm gonna be part of 30 exhibitions before I'm 30. So I was going at a very odd pace. Yeah. And the funny thing is, the opportunities were coming to me. The minute I wrote that down, the opportunities kept on coming and coming and coming, and now it's almost like I've almost reached my goal. I'm not even 30 yet, and I've met so many different artists. I've worked with so many different people, and that's why I keep on saying that I don't know how I got there, and I don't know it's not like I don't know. There's always a knowing.
Of course, there's always that subconscious. It's just like
knowing, whatever. But it's like, if I can tell you how I got those exhibitions, some of them were through applications, some of them were just someone, speaking about me, and I could really see God move and God work just because this is who I was internally, and this was where he was, trying to take me and everything. So yeah, at first it was it's still a goal. It's still a goal, but I've kind of dumbed that down.
I mean, it's more like you see something bigger than that. Yeah.
And unfortunately, also, I suffer from social anxiety, so I don't like being in public spaces for too long. I know it's not obvious, but I don't like being in public spaces for too long. And because I have to open up and share my past in order for you to understand the work that is being created now, so you can connect to it. Because if I tell you, oh, the work says, heal your inner child, you're never gonna get it all.
That could be quite exhausting if you had to go back every time for every person.
Yeah, literally shut down. I used to say this, I think 2 years ago to a friend. I was like, after every exhibition, I have to run away. Like I have to take 2 days to just recharge my energy because I can't.
after my last solo exhibition, I think I did the same thing too. I didn't want to touch anything paintbrush. Speak of art, like, oh, Katie, I have this piece. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
No.
It was enough energy to absorb. And one thing I've learned about mental health is it has its spiritual definition as well.
Sure.
And for me, it's just I absorb a lot of energy on subconsciously, and it's something that I'm learning how to practice. I'm an empath or whatever, so it's a thing where I understand that, and because I know that I'm not ready, I'm just not putting myself too much out there. Yeah. But I'm healing and I'm learning and I'm reworking, and that's why like my most recent series is called I Am, because I'm also learning Yoruba. I'm trying to go back to my roots.
Oh, great! I can't even speak my own language, so I feel
like an Igbo woman.
Not really.
Hey God.
No, should I? Let's try it out.
Jesu Christi. Okay. What should we say? Báwo ni? Show up.
I don't speak Yoruba, so I don't really know how to answer that.
Yeah. What about your pigeon?
Okay, my pigeon is good. I'm going to speak pigeon now. Your pigeon is not. How do you think Nigeria? Don't speak pigeon? How now?
I don't have the aggression that comes.
No, you don't really need aggression. If you calm down, like, see, we did podcast now.
Okay.
We did talking. It's no aggression in my voice. So we did chill now. You get it's like just relax. And we're good. And I'm not it.
No, I feel like when I'm in a vibe, I can vibe with it. But for someone to come up to me and say I should speak pidgin,
Who's recording? Why should I speak pidgin?
But the thing is, funny enough, when I get up, no, say upset, angry, and your body is so strong. Bro, like it's like
so it's like there's a personality that speaks Yoruba, but only when you're pissed.
Literally only when I'm pissed. So I need to like get a point across. So I need to come up as that. That's why I love Yorubas. They love that Bugatti it. You understand? That's the only time my Yoruba comes out well. When I'm calm in a calm state, like when I'm talking to you, when I'm in flow, I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Yes, now we're circling back.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because of my medium is watercolor, I don't plan my paintings.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm painting at. Sorry, that's why I was trying to correct you. I don't plan my paintings.
That's good info.
Yeah, literally just sketch and then.
Maybe when I'm introducing the podcast next time, I'm gonna say all about spontaneity because we just spontaneously just bring up stuff and just go back stuff, and it's beautiful. I kind of like it. It shows that. We're creative, you understand? Like, if it's too scripted or too planned, it's going to get boring real fast. I mean, that's just my opinion. Don't enter my DMs or in the comment section saying, I disagree with you, Katie. I probably will not respond because I like sleeping. If I'm not doing this or if I'm not painting or playing Call of Duty, I'm sleeping. So, back to the whole thing. I'm definitely as a creative, there are going to be challenges. Even now, there are pretty much challenges that you face. Like, what's some of the challenges you face and how do you deal with them?
My biggest challenge, I would say, is learning how to be of this world and not be of it at the same time. It sounds the way it sounds. Only because as much as I recognize that this body has been through trauma, and because of that, it's dealing with a couple of things, my spirit feels a different way.
Yeah.
So usually when I tell people, I suffer from depression and anxiety with mild OCD, they're like, you don't come across that. And I'm like, my spirit does not have that, but my body, unfortunately, because of the experience of this earth, it has it. So what my biggest challenge is trying to be of this world and of the other at the same time. So I find like a balance so I can be free. That's the best way to describe it. So that's like my biggest challenge right now.
Yeah. So like, are you like on therapy at the moment or something?
I've had depression. I was clinically diagnosed about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
So I've done the whole therapy thing. I've done the whole, collective healing.
Yeah.
I've done so many things, but I would say that the only thing that's been working for me is spirituality. And I'm only saying that because most of my depressive moments had a meaning, and I understand it now.
Yeah.
And secondly, most of my illnesses, like I had PCOS, I have PCOS, but I'm trying to say that I don't have it.
Yeah, it's kind of like feeding your mind.
I was literally like 120 kg, and I was like, God, why would you do this to me? Like, because I talked to him as like my big G. I'm actually trying to change the whole him to her thing, but anyway, that's personal. But that's personal. So it's a thing where I was like, okay, what's going on? And then after a while, I understood that it was so I could have a better relationship with my physical body. Because with PCOS, you have to monitor your hormones, what you eat, what you do, how you sleep, the energy, the amount of stress you can take. The thing, it is exhausting.
Really? I mean, you explained it now, and I'm like, yo,
you're not in control of your body when you have PCOS. You're not. And
crazy.
You're not even sure if you can have kids. You're not sure if you can. Your mood swings are crazy. Nobody understands you. And because we don't actually talk about PCOS in this country.
That's the thing. We don't, because I do know a few people who also suffer from the same thing, that it's not being talked about that much as it's supposed to. The awareness is not really there. That's why I kind of appreciate the fact that you expressing how you deal with it, how you cope with it, and all of that.
I think I just changed my mindset to think that this is an opportunity for you to get to know your body better. This is an opportunity for you to holistically heal everything. Yeah. So my diet now is so tailored towards spirituality. It's crazy, but that was not how I saw it in the beginning. Even like with my hair now, everyone was like, oh, they love my hair. I loved my hair. You would think, okay, because I love my hair, I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. No. The reality was, I could not afford to keep doing my hair every 2 weeks. Like, hair is expensive.
Yeah. You tell me. I mean, Valentine's is almost here.
I was meant to lock my hair at 30. This was never the plan. I wanted my hair to be a lot longer, but Valentine's is coming. Wait. That song is going to go viral again. My point is, I was spending like on upkeep and everything. I was spending like a ridiculous amount just to be a woman. Why? So I ended up locking my hair a lot faster than most people. And now the amount of money I spend on my hair is like almost
not compared to what you
not compared. And it happened that way with even like my nails and like the way I dress. I just had to dumb down a lot of things, and I'm sure I'm open about it because I'm sure it happened to everyone.
Yeah. Would you say like you prefer to live like simpler, a more simpler fashion?
I have moments when I want to be a bad bitch.
Yeah, of course.
Excuse the French. That's why I said I'm still of this world.
Yeah.
I'm just trying not to be of the world.
And I mean, that makes a lot of sense now.
So it's more like, oh, this is me. This is what does Abby like? Okay, Abby still likes dressing up. Abby still likes, wearing a couple outfits. Because I love fashion. I literally make majority of my outfits. And I love makeup. I love doing makeup. So it's a thing where it's like, I'm just me.
Exactly. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And
what the question now? What was the question? We just started around.
Oh, we talked about challenges. You told me several challenges and how you dealt with them. Of course.
I mean, I'm still dealing. I'll be very honest.
Of course. There's no limit to all of this. Like, you just keep coping with it, finding new ways to. I think before we started this, we talked about our demons and all of that. Like, find a way to like coexist with your demon, at least from my understanding. Or I mean, you don't really need to fight them. they're there for a purpose. They're part of you.
Lucky they're cool if you read it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no,
it's probably go there for it. But it's been great. But okay, we're about to round off a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I wish we could continue. I wish we could. But so far, what final words do you have to give to everyone out there listening, who actually, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who feel the same way that we feel, but they don't really know how to express themselves. They don't really need to be artists or something, but they're looking for a way to let people understand what they are going through, how they are feeling, and maybe find ways to help themselves that they may not even know of. But do you have anything to like share with us before we leave?
I want to take like a second to really just internalize that question.
Okay. A second it is.
So the message comes out the way it's supposed to be. Don't be afraid to lean on people, but be afraid to lean on the wrong people.
Yeah.
Only because as an artist, you're so sensitive to this world, and your entire being or essence is love. And because love is your fundamental truth, if you're not careful, you can lose yourself. And you can only, and it's weird because I've lost myself in so many different places, but I don't see it as a loss anymore. I see it as pieces of me being given.
Like I said, lessons or blessings.
Lessons.
Exactly.
I would definitely advise young artists to just keep going inside. Like, if you close your eyes and you internalize for, even if it's like 5 seconds, and you ask yourself, what do I want to do? Your thoughts are going to answer back to you. And it's your choice to see if it's a negative thought or a positive thought, because unfortunately, everybody's opinion is definitely going to be different than your internal self, than your higher self, than the God you worship, anything. You have this knowing. Everybody has this knowing. It's like me, I can tell you that you're wearing a blue shirt. You know you're not wearing a blue shirt, but I can warp your reality, and no one should have the power to warp your reality except you. So always believe in
like that.
Yourself, what you create. Your creative process is always going to be messy, but that's where you find God.
Of course.
Well, that's where you find love. Let me use love.
Yeah.
That's how I view it when I say that word. So, yeah, and no matter what mental illness or no matter what obstacle that's around you right now, it will always be temporary, and it's always a lesson. It's hard to see in real time, but through creating your art, and every time you do have that moment of solitude, it will be revealed to you. So,
yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, I'm like emotional right now.
Don't be. I have you, because honestly, I was so nervous, and I can't believe how aligned this was, because we spoke to each other like a couple days before, and we were like literally like loving each other's works, and then yeah, by the way, I'm your host. I'm like, okay, that's nice. And I didn't find this out up until like literally like an hour before I was
before you came.
You know what I mean? And I'm so glad I met you.
And I'm so glad you were able to make him. So glad you were able to open up to us. You were able to share some certain things about you, and I learned something. I'm pretty sure people out there are going to learn something too, and this has been wonderful. So there you have it, people of the world. It's still me, Katie Otara, and I was here. I'm still here, actually, because I don't want her to go.
I'm not going to go.
I'm still here with AKG. She is brilliant. She is creative. She is everything. A creative. I gotta say, man, like this has been wonderful for me, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be wonderful for you guys. And there you have it. So from us here to you over there, this has been great. Thank you for joining in, for listening, watching, whichever one you want to do, and follow me on Instagram. Yes, follow the page, follow the Palm Collective, follow her, and just keep an eye out on our work. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube page. And share with your friends. You never know who you're going to inspire. And like I always tell people, be you. That's the best version of yourself you got, right? So from us here to you over there once again, peace.
Yeah, that was fun. Nice.